The Big Ten race probably will boil down to 3 games. Circle them on the calendar. That has been the case for most Big Ten fans going all the way throughout the offseason. And this is the first Titanic matchup. Ohio State hosts Penn State. The Buckeyes have won 11 of 12 against Penn State straight up, 6 straight as well in the series. Penn State might be playing a little bit better football at this point. Ohio State is the one big test against Notre Dame. We got Steve Merrill on the line, of course, from Wager Talk to help us break it all down, Steve. And Ohio State's a 4.5-point favorite at home in what is obviously a titanic matchup.
Yeah, and this line's moving. Earlier this week, I did a show on Wager Talk TV, wagertalk.com on Tuesday, and I recommended Ohio State -4. Now it's up to 4.5 later in the week. On Wednesday afternoon, it went up to 4.5 across the board. Even see some straggling 5s out there. So I do think this line is rising higher as we head towards the weekend, and I agree with that move. First of all, my database simulation, 10,000 games simulated in the database, has Ohio State winning by 9 points on average. And I think there is a couple reasons why this line is too short, and we'll step in and take the line value with Ohio State at home. First of all, Penn State, 6-0 straight up, just like Ohio State, but they're also 6-0 against the spread this year. In fact, if you go back to last season, they went 6-0-1 their final 7 games, so they're now 12-0-1 against the spread over the past 13 games. They have yet to fail to cover in over a year. That creates line value because at some point the odds makers and the betting markets have to adjust. And once again, I think this line is at least a field goal or more too short. And then we look at the matchup here. I think we can also step in and take Ohio State for a couple other reasons. First of all, their defense has obviously improved. That's been their weakness the last few years, giving up over 20 points a game. Now they're giving up just 9.5, just 4 yards per play. Penn State is even better at 8 points, 3.4 yards per play. But where Ohio State, in my opinion, has a huge edge is offensively. They score less points per game, but they average a lot more yards per play, almost 1.5 yards more per play. Two teams that have played pretty equal schedules. In fact, I rate Ohio State's schedule tougher so far just because they do have those Notre Dame and Maryland games thrown in, so it's given them a stronger schedule as well. So I think Ohio State's the better overall team. They're at home. This is a huge step up in class for Penn State after just playing Massachusetts and even Northwestern the week before that. And then on top of it, you just look at recent meetings. Another reason why this line just looks cheap. Last year, Ohio State's a double-digit favorite. I believe they're a 15-point road favorite. They win by 13 at Penn State. And they're actually better defensively this year, as I just said, and probably just as good offensively. So this line is too short for several reasons. I think there's value with Ohio State, even now that the line has risen higher to 4.5. I still like the Buckeyes in this one.
You should be locked in on the under the radar selection, folks. You can get it 2 ways. Patreon.com/MarkRogersTV. Become a Patreon member there and get all the benefits, including, again, Steve's exclusive under the radar selection to us at the Voice of College Football, or as a YouTube member, simply sign up on the main channel and you get Steve's pick, which is 17-3 since week 1, going back to 2022. Steve, we always appreciate you stopping by.
Hey, thanks, Mark.